You know, there's something to be said about products and brands that have stood the test of time. But after 20 years, Rockford Fosgate has decided to revamp the entire, yes, the entire fan favorite Punch speaker series. And wow, what a job they did. Today, we've got our product expert, Eric Russell, joining us, and we're going to break down for y'all exactly what's going on, what the new features are, and what the new Rockford Fosgate Punch series of speakers is all about. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Rockford Fosgate. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and you are locked into CMA Networks, where we talk mobile electronics day in and day out. And today we've landed on an exciting one, guys, one of everybody's favorite brands, Rockford Fosgate. Huge announcement, completely redesigning the very much loved and honestly a brand and a series that have been in so many vehicles and installs. Of course, we're talking about the Punch series of speakers. Joining us today is our good friend Eric Russell. Eric, welcome back to Connected. Can you give us a little outline of what we're going to be talking about today?
Thanks for having me on today, Ben. Yeah, we're going to be talking about our new Punch speakers available in 3 flavors. So we'll talk about each of those and how they adapt into modern vehicles. And I can't wait to show you all the new cool stuff.
Wow, Eric, I love the selection you brought in today. But first, a quick opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you why it's always a great ad on sale. And when we come back, let's find out what the new Rockford Fosgate Punch series of speakers is all about. We'll see you after the break.
Hey, Paul here with SiriusXM, and I'd like to talk to you about attachment selling and why the SiriusXM product is one of the best things to add, especially since we don't trade dollars with any other category. I could go through all of this, but let's hear what some of our dealers have to say.
It's an easy add-on that takes, 10, 15 minutes if we're running an antenna, 1 minute if we've got an adapter to plug it into the factory SiriusXM antenna, and it's extra money, so no brainer.
I present it to every customer because a lot of customers don't know what all they can do with Sirius. They don't know what all content they could have. It just makes too much sense not to sell it.
It creates a different customer loyalty and customer security when you explain to them why it's a better experience. Just gets them back in the door. And then the next car, they're already asking for it again. So it just keeps selling itself. It makes more sense.
Well, there you have it. You heard from our dealers. Just remember some of the best practices. Make sure you have one on display so you can demo it. Make sure you're taking advantage of our rewards program, because if you're not taking advantage of that, you're leaving even more money on the table. Make sure you got our POP up on display. And other than that, just make sure you're recommending it.
And welcome back to the show, and welcome to our good friend Eric. Eric, buddy, good to see you again. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ben. Good to be on today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm already intrigued because I can see you came guns a-blazing with tons of new product in front of you. Now, just to set the record straight, I think I got that right, because I was looking back and I was like, man, these Punch speakers, they've been around for a hot minute, right? So like we are talking about 20 years or so?
Yeah, since the inception of Rockford Fosgate, Punch has been an integral part of our family. And the last redesign of Punch speakers was way back in 2004.
Wow.
So you're probably wondering, why has it taken so long? Well, they were actually designed very well. The current models are designed for sound quality, and a lot of fanatics just love the way that they sound. But as modern vehicles became more and more difficult to install into, we took a unique approach, and we knew we couldn't just do it quick and fast. We knew we had to do it the right way. So that's what these new Punch speakers are all about.
Well, I can't wait to dig in with you. I mean, I'm just looking at the notes of what we're about to talk about. A lot of technology, a lot of cool features. And so just to preface this, you mentioned earlier on there are 3 different series. Can you just kind of give us an overview of how that's broken up before getting into the details? And we'll break it all down so everybody knows. But what are we looking at here?
Absolutely. The P1 is a 3-way coaxial. It's a drop-in replacement for single drivers of OEM speakers. The P2 is a 2-way convertible. It can be designed as a coax or a 2-way component system for OEM systems having 1 or 2 speaker locations. And then finally, our P3. This is our 3-way component system for OEM systems that have a dedicated woofer, mid-range, and tweeter. So the 3 families all work together. They're all rated at 75 watts RMS. It just depends on what your vehicle needs as far as OEM replacement application.
All right, I get the theme here. Lots of great options, different scenarios. Really, though, what I'm getting the sense here is Rockford Fosgate, the engineers, the designers, wanted to not only revamp the line, but with purpose. And that purpose was to be able to make sure our installers can get these speakers into the type of vehicles that are coming into their bay today, right? So let's start with I guess the overlying theme of this new redesign. The term that Rockford Fosgate is using for this is called auto fit architecture. Eric, what can you tell us about that?
That's right, Ben. AutoFit architecture. It's what we use to design these new P1, P2, and P3 speakers. This principle is taking a look at the mounting diameter, the mounting holes, the mounting depth, the frame geometry, everything about the speaker, even the terminal locations, and designed it so that they fit modern vehicles. Now, we also feature what's called a flower or a factory location woofer ring that's most prevalent on our 2.5-inch driver, and this is what it looks like. We also have derivatives available on our 3.5-inch, 4, and 5-inch that incorporate mounting flanges and vehicle-specific adapters designed for precise alignment and drop-in integration. So what does this all mean? Well, we made it easier than ever to install these speakers in modern vehicles, and that's the primary design approach that we took with the new punch speakers.
Eric, I got to mention something here. If Rockford Fosgate should get an award for one thing, and I got to say, the guys over there or the girls over there know how to put together cool terminology. Flower adapter, really? I mean, that's pretty smart. Pretty smart. Okay, I want to circle back to something you said earlier. Did you mention that there are now convertible coaxials in the lineup? And if so, can you show us what that's all about?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Our P2 family are convertibles, so you can use it as a coaxial speaker or as a component. We include a tweeter removal tool. You simply twist it and remove the tweeter. You can reinstall a phase plug into the mid-range, and there you go, a dedicated woofer and tweeter in a tweeter cup. So that's what's really cool about these. If you only have one location, you can use this as a coaxial. But if you have a dedicated tweeter, let's say the A pillar, you can take this tweeter off and put it in a surface mount or a flush mount tweeter cup. Now, what's really cool, if by some chance you overdrive these speakers, you can use the tweeter removal tool to simply replace these from the front. Simply insert the tool, twist them out, and now you can replace the tweeter alone. No more replacing the entire driver.
All right, I think that's really cool, especially from an inventory perspective, guys. I mean, a 6.5 coaxial convertible switch to a component set, pretty smart design. Now, speaking of design, here's another one that Rockford engineers have kind of put together. Now, obviously, when it comes to some of the component kits, there are going to be some passive crossovers. In Rockford Fosgate terminology, these are called MC3 crossovers, but they're kind of unique in the sense that, well, I'll let Eric tell you more.
That's right. That stands for multi-configuration crossover chassis. And what that is a configuration, it makes it modular, right? So you can snap these together and install them as one unit, or you can unsnap them to install them separately. We also have mounting holes so that you can secure these with zip ties. So snap them together or break them apart. It gives you the flexibility to wire your system the way you want it.
All right, Eric, circling back to this auto fit architecture, obviously every, component of this design was made to fit vehicles. So let's talk about mounting depth because that always seems to be a problem when, especially with some of these newer vehicles, there's not a whole lot space there to actually mount, more powerful speakers. What has Rockford Fosgate done to accommodate that?
That's right. We took a fresh approach to all these drivers and making sure that they adapt into the vehicle seamlessly. Now, one of the key pieces is making the speaker look good, but what if you actually need that extra millimeter of mounting depth? Well, a lot of drivers feature a removable cover. That's allowing you to remove the magnet cover so you can get that extra space needed for really, really tight installations.
Ah, yet again, another key design feature that gives that installer a little extra edge, a removable cover. I mean, I like the look of the cover, but man, you got to make it fit. You got to make it fit. So, one question for you. I know we get this often when we're talking about speakers. Are there any grills available for any of these speakers for those installations where it requires a grill?
Yeah, absolutely. We have two different types of grills available, surface mount and flush mount. So what's really cool about these grills, it's not designed like we've done before. Whether you're using a surface mount or a flush mount, these can be installed from the front side of the door panel. So these are also great for an optional upgrade later on down the road when you need to finish off the system. Again, you can install these from the front of the door panel. You don't have to take it apart to install these. They're really neatly designed and very smart for installers to allow them a quick and easy install and a perfect upgrade for your audio system.
All right, Eric, we've covered so much here, all about the auto fit architecture, the way that these are designed to get into vehicles easily. You talked about grills, you talked about adapter plates, we even talked about this modular crossover system. One question I have for you, though, I'm going to assume that these are all 4 ohm, correct?
Well, most of them are. We actually have 3 high output versions. We have a 6.5-inch, 6x8, and a 6x9 in the P2 family that are 2 ohm high output drivers. This allows you to use a direct factory replacement that matches the electrical system of the factory speaker. So you'll get no lower output. You actually have higher output because of the high output design of these drivers.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the brand new redesigned Rockford Fosgate Punch series of speakers, a total reimagination of this entire line with a heavy focus on fitment. They're calling it auto fit architecture. Eric has done a great job explaining all the great features, but I do have a question for you, Eric, which I think will be important. What applications, how many different sizes, how many different models are we talking about in this range?
Well, that's a great question, Ben. We've got 23 new speakers. We have 10 drivers in the P1 family, 8 drivers in the P2 family, and 5 drivers in the P3. In the P1, we offer 2.5-inch up to 6x9. In the P2, we offer 3/4-inch tweeters up to 6x9. And the P3 is offered at 2.5-inch as a mid-range up to a 6x9 component system. We also feature 17 grills. 8 of those are flush mount and 9 of those are surface mount. So in total, 40 new SKUs in the Punch series setup.
Hey, Eric, thank you so much for coming in today and talking to us about all the great new features of the new Rockford Fosgate Punch Series speakers. Obviously, they've been redesigned. They're meant to fit lots of different models to choose from. Great features. But hey, I got to ask you, what about the warranty?
Well, on these new Punch speakers, we're upgrading it from a 1-year to a 2-year warranty, Ben. Typically, that's only reserved for the higher echelon, the Power Series. With these new Punch speakers, you get a 2 full-year warranty on all the drivers.
Wow, a 2-year warranty. That is incredible. Last but not least, before I let you go, when can we expect to see these available and where should people go to get more info?
Well, as you know, we just announced these, but these will be shipping in early 2026, so very soon.
I want to take this opportunity and thank our good friend Eric Russell from Rockford Fosgate for joining us today. And as you heard him say, if you're looking for more info, stay tuned. These will be available early 2026. For more information, head on over to the website, rockfordfosgate.com. Now, here's my takeaway. 20 years is a long time to wait for a redesign. But I'll tell you what, they took their time because they recognized, did their research, and understood that nowadays the vehicles that are coming into the bays are becoming more challenging to get and retrofit speakers into. So what did they do? They came up with solutions. They've changed the way they've set up the line, P1, P2, P3, but they've incorporated such key features to ensure that the installation is going to be as simple and as easy as possible. Add to that power series to even adopt to impedances where you may need a 2 ohm, or the flower adapter, or the modular crossover, and all the great things that Eric talked about. I mean, just taking a look at the way that Rockford Fosgate has designed these knows that they are putting a successful formula in your hands. So take a closer look. Be excited. Rockford Fosgate, brand new Punch Series speakers coming soon. That's it for the CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.